Empire viOLet, a pretty tough Zerg player, won IEM Sao Paulo a month or two ago.
Yep. And we're going to get some head-to-head stats
Love
here
those
for
loading
these guys
screens.
here. I know the Incineration Zone one looks so cool. So viOLet at the moment is currently ranked as the number as our stats loads here.
Something. Well, I can introduce the players
Yeah,
while
go
that
ahead.
happens. Here we go, guys. Incineration Zone. And on the left, in the red, from the team, it's Gosu. It is Wanna Be Cool.
Yep.
And down at the bottom of the map, in the purple, from the team Empire, it is viOLet.
And he's ranked number 9 on our power
Quite
rankings.
good.
So, yes, this is a top 10 player in the world at the moment.
Wanna Be Cool, holding down at 204 on our power rankings.
Hasn't played as many
as
pro
many.
matches, though.
So I talked to both of these guys as well before the match to see kind of what they thought of it. Wanna Be Cool said he liked the idea of playing on Lost Temple viOLet, commentating that it is indeed an interesting map. I agree.
Hopefully, have we communicated to him that this is an old map tournament? Because I know at one point he was like, "Why map pool so bad?" But he accepted the invite anyway.
He knows.
So
He understands. He gets it, man. He gets
it.
Sometimes it's just good to have fun.
All right.
And, WBC, not knowing how to spell creatures, apparently. But WBC, here's his plan, right? He told me he's actually thinking about maybe 4 warp gate rushing on this map. He said, I'm thinking about it maybe. I'm like, you going to bring cannons? He's like, yeah, but 4 warp gate's so good on this map. We'll see what happens. So that's a possibility for WBC.
Yeah.
He wants to play another game later on Lost Temple, so that might be possible as well. Says Scrap Station, if he ends up playing a game on there, wants to maybe use Void Rays because of the close air difference. Now, viOLet, I talked to him. His comments for the tournament for this match today were all maps bad for Zerg, and I don't know who WBC is. That's what viOLet had to say about this match.
That's amazing.
So you
viOLet,
will learn.
I love you. Oh.
He will learn. It's like he's like it reminds me of Luke when he said to Yoda, he's like, I'm not afraid, and he's like talking about WBC. He's like, I'm not afraid, and I'm Yoda when I'm going to be like, you will be, you will be, you will be. There we go. Looks like a pretty normal opening from viOLet, going pool then hatchery.
Yeah, 14 pool, into
which
a 15
he should
hatch.
be punished for. How dare a Zerg take a hatchery so early?
They cannot be allowed to take a free base. This is blasphemy.
That's right. He needs to be punished. Gateway expand from WBC, so he may be.
Because how can you can't what? No Forge expand here. It's just not possible. I'm just sorry, guys.
No,
you're not Forge expanding that. You're not Forge expanding this either.
That choke is like the original choke on Terminus or something like that. It's so wide.
Yeah.
The tiniest map with the largest choke. That's kind of like how, excuse me, how it is. But we're going to see both these players obviously have to worry quite a bit about that back area with the rocks. That's what a lot of the games on Incineration Zone come down to. You know, me, of course, being an expert on Incineration Zone. And
Clearly,
the current Incineration Zone metagame, of course. Of course.
So high-level discussion here. Yes, I'm quite yield map tournament. Yes, no.
That was weird. All right.
That was weird.
So,
I'm really awkward about that, actually.
Here's my question.
Yes.
If you look at the top right part of the map, there's like a little bump that kind of sticks out there. Have you ever... Oh, look, there's a command center there.
Yep.
It's all destroyed. Have you ever seen anyone even go to that part of this map?
No.
I don't think so.
Never.
Not a lot happens over there.
I can count the number of games that I've watched on this map.
It's like...
on 2 hands.
There was a third player out there,
yes.
and he never made it. He was Terran.
Guess so.
Just kind of decayed because he never found any resources.
It's like Total Recall Red Haze is a little much for me, though. So
a little bit.
Let's see here. Hey, that's 3 gateways. 3 gateway expand is nothing. Oh, wait. I'm a dirty liar. There was your fourth gate. So
there we go. Yep. So he is going to follow through with the plan he was mulling over. He's going to try to 4-gate here. And I'm gonna use the unforgettable words of HD StarCraft and the HDH Invitational. It appears that he's going for some sort of 4 warp gate rush. It appears that the Protoss player is going for some sort of 4 warp gate rush.
That's no BM on HD. Right. That's like before people actually did this sort of a thing.
If only he could look into the future and know just what monumental words he was saying. One of the very first 4 warp gates, first 4 gates in StarCraft 2. Oh, it picks off the Observer there. A little bit careless for Violet leaving that out there. Violet, though, should know that there is an attack coming through the rocks. Well, possibly. He hasn't seen anything really yet.
No.
From WBC. All his attentions are focused on the front of the map. This may be a little bit dangerous for our IEM Sao Paulo champion here.
All right, well, he's going to start mining gas once again, so we may see a Rotorn or something along those lines in a bit.
Yeah.
The Evolution Chamber's already down, of course. And
well, you can't play the current metagame, obviously, in ZVP. You can't go for that 3 hatch before gas and then just kind of make a lot of roaches early on to stay safe. He has had to play a little bit more defensive early on.
Of course, yep. And Violet's a very smart player, a very, very smart player. He's very situationally aware. He's always able to react to situations appropriately based on the information that he learned. So this is a pretty good read. Mass speed links right now, pretty good way to shut this down unless WBC has perfect control.
Yeah, you got to just make nothing but units right now. If you know this is coming, he's putting down 4 spine crawlers, which is absolutely the right thing to do. But will they be there in time? That's the question. Such a strong force coming out, but the supplies are fairly even. Let's take a look at the unit counting station real quick here. We have 28 Zerglings out to 5 Zealots, 7 Stalkers, 6 Sentries, and those 6 Sentries are what's really going to scare our Zerg player right now.
All right, well, here comes WBC. 4 Warp Gate Rush. A lot of spine crawlers in position, though. Look at those.
5 of them already right there.
Yes, he does. Is he going to try and run on by?
He could just run past them, yeah. I mean, he doesn't necessarily engage here. Oh, look at this. You can actually attack the natural from the high ground.
Oh, that's so cute. That makes me cry a little bit.
Oh, he needs some force fields.
Yes, he does. He gets a couple of them down. Is it going to be enough? He's actually put those Zerglings through a tiny little choke point, but the spine crawlers are already starting to go to work.
What an awkward place for your army to be on this map. He's going to run out of force field so quickly here. It's tough to engage, and I think Violet, with those spine crawlers, has such a good chance of holding here. Wow.
Yeah, look at that. He's being attacked by spine crawlers from the low ground as well. Just a couple of fragile units left, and WBC is going to have that force obliterated.
I think so. I think he is. And the supply is still saying very even here. I mean, no economic advantage really for Violet at this point.
No, certainly not.
Because he's had to kind of make so many units. He actually has about the same amount of drones as WBC has probes. So what are we going to see now? Are we going to see WBC try to continue to go for this, or are we going to see him maybe expand possibly?
Well, the attack spine crawlers are moving into position right now. And WBC, well, it's not really making anything but units at the moment. Another pylon coming down.
There we go.
There's an expansion.
Oh, I like that expansion, too. That's actually a great place for an expand. He can take that third base, stay close to his opponent.
Oh, there's just no way he can run by these spine crawlers, though.
Yep. Now, this was actually a situation that we saw come up a lot in the very early days of StarCraft 2. I'm serious, where the Zerg had to
laughing at you, just the more spine crawlers.
Like, the Zerg had to make a ton of spine crawlers. WBC trying to catch him when the spine crawlers were unfurrowed. Yeah. And does a little bit of damage, but not much. But, Zerg's players had to make a lot more spine crawlers back then than they do normally now. And Protoss players could take advantage of that by just pumping out a ton of Immortals. So we'll have to see if WBC decides to go for the robotic space soon. I think it would be a good choice if he did. Because right now, I mean, Violet is being a little bit pigeonholed into what he needs to produce to stay alive in this game.
We may have a potential of seeing every base taken on this map, though. As we do have the third base being taken for Violet on the right-hand side now. Looks like WBC going to continue to try and poke up. Cycles back those Stalkers, but Violet very aware, very good control as well. Moves up and does a little bit of damage, but doesn't bait his army all the way into the Zealots.
Oh, so many speedlings here. I don't think WBC, well, I don't know if he can break this here. He's going to, although Violet's kind of set himself up so that it won't take that many force fields to actually keep the Zerglings from participating. So if he can get in there, force field off the spine crawlers, kill the spine crawlers, leave himself with only Zerglings, maybe that would work out okay. And a Baneling nest being gotten right now by Violet, so having to play very much on the fly here.
And looks like
he gets a spine.
Yeah, that's actually the second spine he's taken out with this so far.
Right.
But, of course, it looks like there's not too many up at the front anymore. Just a Spore Crawler along with that to make sure that no DTs are going to come through. And what do we have here but Ventral Sacks coming up for Empire Violet?
It really is the return of the older builds. You really do have to play very differently on these maps. This is actually so fascinating to watch. I love this.
Oh, and look at that. He's trying to keep his opponent's attention away. And he's about to move through the front here in a bit.
Oh, he's going to Baneling bust it.
8 Banelings are being started, but that's at the defensive force for now.
Yeah. He can also drop on top like the Sentries and Zealots as well if and when WBC decides to push here. But, yeah, it looks like he's just going to bust the front as well. WBC, all his attention is focused on his attack at the main base of viOLet. This could be very dangerous for our Protoss player.
All right, that is a lot of
he's going for it.
Yeah, he's going to move right to the front at the same time that the Banelings are actually coming through the front wall. It does zone out the Banelings, though, at the very least, but you're right. It doesn't allow the Zealots to attack all that much. Yeah, and here come the Zerglings streaming on through.
Oh, yes, they do, and they're going to go to work on those probes right away. Meanwhile, that big attack at the main is going actually not too bad for WBC's. Killed off a lot of the spine crawlers. Lost a lot of his zealots here. Only Zerglings left. He needs to pull back to a place where he can force field well.
Oh, but he
nice
does.
Force field.
Yeah, he gets a couple off to the right, but a few Zerglings still attack through the front as well. But at the same time, it was mostly the economic damage that was being done right up the gut. 9 workers killed there. Another 26 Zerglings, 30 Zerglings on the way as these spine crawlers continue to creep forward.
Yep, WBC just getting overwhelmed at this point.
Yeah, unfortunately so. 25 supply difference, 30 supply difference, and WBC may have to give up that expansion.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's 71 supply to 37, so I think he may actually have to give up the game very soon. But a valiant effort so far in game 1.
Yes.
viOLet, though, defending that very, very well.
Yeah, there was a moment there when things started to get a little bit dicey, but he was able to power through that.
That's about it.
Well.
Yep.
Yeah.
That should be about it.
GG.
GG from viOLet.